There was a time when television captivated audiences with simple, heartfelt stories and a dolphin who became a legend. In 1964, Flipper premiered, a series that blended adventure, friendship, and respect for nature, winning over children and adults around the world. Alongside the most famous dolphin on TV, a charismatic cast brought to life stories that crossed generations and became cherished memories from millions of fans. But time passed. So what happened to the actors who lived out those unforgettable stories? Today, you're about to discover the before and after of the Flipper cast, a nostalgic journey that may surprise you. Even before any human actor gained prominence, Flipper was already the absolute star, charismatic, intelligent, and capable of moving generations without saying a single word. The TV series Flipper premiered in 1964, but the character had already won over audiences a year earlier in the 1963 film of the same name. To bring the most famous dolphin in television history to life, more than one animal was used. Several trained dolphins shared the role, with Mitzi being the best known among them. The dolphins that portrayed Flipper were trained at marine parks in Florida at a time when fascination with marine animals was rapidly growing. They were already performing in shows and aquatic work before being brought to film and television. In the TV series, Flipper was not just a mascot, he was a hero. He rescued people from drowning, helped capture criminals, found shipwreck survivors, and always seemed to understand exactly what Sandy and Bud needed. His almost human behavior led many viewers to believe that dolphins were smarter than people, and maybe they weren't entirely wrong. Flipper appeared in every episode of the series and became a symbol of friendship, empathy, and respect for nature. The dolphin most closely associated with the character, Mitzi, continued living at the marine park after production ended. She died in 1972 at around 14 years old. Other dolphins used in the series lived longer and went on to appear in additional programs and performances. Luke Halpin was born in 1947 in New York. Before Flipper, Luke was already working as a child actor, appearing in commercials. He had the perfect profile for television at the time, a curious look, a natural, easygoing presence, and a rare comfort in front of the camera. In 1964, at just 17 years old, Luke landed the role that would define his life. On Flipper, he played Sandy Ricks, the older son of Porter Ricks and the human character closest to the most famous dolphin on television. Sandy was brave, sensitive, adventurous, and shared an almost intuitive bond with Flipper. Together, they explored the ocean, rescued people, and found themselves in dangerous situations, always with a meaningful lesson at the end. Over the show's 3 seasons, Luke Halpin became a true icon of 1960s youth television. After Flipper ended, Luke continued acting in a few films and TV series, but gradually chose to step away from the profession. Unlike many former child stars, he opted for a quieter life, far from the Hollywood spotlight. Luke Halpin is currently 79 years old. Tommy Norden was born in 1952 in New York. From an early age, Tommy showed ease in front of the camera and a natural charisma. In 1964, at just 11 years old, he landed the role that would make him known around the world. On Flipper, he played Bud Ricks, the younger son of Porter Ricks, and the comic relief of the family. Bud was impulsive, curious, sometimes stubborn, but always kind-hearted. His antics often got the family into trouble, and of course, Flipper almost always showed up to save the day. Tommy Norden grew up on screen, becoming an essential part of the warm, family-friendly atmosphere that made Flipper a worldwide success. After the series ended, Tommy chose to leave acting while still a teenager. He decided on a life away from the spotlight and went on to work in other fields, keeping a low profile over the years. Tommy Norden is now 73 years old and is fondly remembered by everyone who watched Flipper as a child. Brian Kelly was born in 1931 in Detroit. He built a solid career in film and television throughout the 1950s, appearing in adventure movies, dramas, and popular TV series of the era. He had a strong on-screen presence, a steady voice, and that calm, authoritative air Hollywood loved. But it was in 1964 that his life changed forever. On Flipper, Brian Kelly portrayed Porter Ricks, the head ranger of a Florida marine park and the father of Sandy and Bud. Porter was the quintessential 1960s hero, responsible, ethical, protective, and deeply connected to nature. He represented the adult figure who balanced his son's mischief with lessons about respect, courage, and empathy, always alongside the most famous dolphin on television. After the series ended, Brian Kelly continued acting normally until 1970, when his career was dealt a devastating blow. He suffered a serious motorcycle accident that left him partially paralyzed and forced him to retire from acting permanently. In 1982, he returned to the industry as an executive producer on the film Blade Runner. Brian Kelly passed away in 2005 at the age of 73, just 2 days before his 74th birthday, due to pneumonia, after a period of declining health. Andy Devine was born in 1905 in Arizona. Long before appearing on Flipper, he was already a Hollywood veteran. Devine built his career starting in the 1930s, becoming one of the most recognizable faces and voices in American cinema. His raspy, unmistakable voice became his trademark, helping him stand out in westerns, adventure films, and comedies. Before television took over American living rooms, Andy had already acted alongside major stars like John Wayne and appeared in dozens of classic productions. He also enjoyed tremendous success in radio, proving that his charisma worked just as well through sound as it did on screen. When he joined Flipper, Devine brought a warm, friendly presence to the show's family atmosphere. His character, Hap Gorman, served as an experienced and approachable figure, reinforcing the sense of community and adventure that defined the series. After Flipper, Andy Devine continued working in film and television, remaining active into the late 1970s. By then, his career was already legendary. He had lived through much of Hollywood's golden age and adapted easily to the industry's changes. Andy Devine passed away in 1977 at the age of 71 due to leukemia. Burt Reynolds was born in 1936 in Michigan. Before becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars, Burt devoted much of his youth to sports. He was a promising college football player, but a serious injury ended that dream and pushed him toward acting. In the early 1960s, Reynolds was still working to establish himself in television, appearing in popular series of the era. During this period, he guest starred in a 2-part episode of Flipper, playing Al Bardman, an escaped convict caught up in a tense, adventure-filled storyline set in the show's coastal world. Just a few years later, Burt Reynolds exploded in popularity. Throughout the 1970s and early 1980s, he became one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, headlining hits like Deliverance, Smokey and the Bandit, and The Cannonball Run. His blend of humor, masculinity, and confidence made him a cultural icon of the era. Even through career ups and downs, Burt continued to reinvent himself with dramatic roles, including his acclaimed performance in Boogie Nights, which introduced him to a new generation of audiences. Burt Reynolds passed away in 2018 at the age of 82 due to a heart attack. Denise Nickerson was born in 1957 in New York. As a child, she began working in commercials and television programs, gaining experience during a time when American TV was launching many young talents. In the mid-1960s, Denise made a guest appearance on Flipper, playing a small role in one episode. Even in a brief part, her presence reflected the natural charm that was already catching producers' attention. The series, known for blending adventure with family drama, served as an important showcase for young performers. Not long afterward, she landed the role that would make her famous worldwide, Violet Beauregarde, in the classic film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Her portrayal of the competitive, headstrong girl became a pop culture staple, securing Denise a lasting place in movie history. After her teenage years, Denise chose to step away from acting and pursue a more private life. Like many former child actors, she decided to follow a different path outside the demanding pace of Hollywood. Denise Nickerson passed away in 2019 at the age of 62 due to medical complications following a stroke. Barbara Feldon was born in 1933 in Pennsylvania. She began her career as a model, competing in beauty contests before moving into commercials and small television roles. Her natural charisma, intelligence, and elegance quickly stood out, qualities that would help her gain attention in Hollywood. In the early 1960s, while still on the rise, Barbara appeared in several popular TV series of the era, including a two-part episode of Flipper. She played Congresswoman Erna Morley, who visits the park to discuss its possible closure and the proposal to send Flipper to a Navy scientific program. In 1965, Barbara Feldon gained international fame portraying the iconic Agent 99 on the comedy series Get Smart. Smart, witty, and poised, her character became a television landmark and helped redefine the role of women in comedic spy shows. After Get Smart, Barbara continued working in television, film, and theater, while also dedicating time to writing and cultural projects. Over the years, she became more selective about her work, maintaining a respected career away from the excesses of fame. Barbara Feldon is currently 93 years old.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more amazing content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue creating fantastic videos like this one. Thanks again, and see you next time.